Hi all, this is Mike,
And this is Paxton.
And I'm Wolf.
and welcome to the Mad LiberTEA Party, where up is down, left is right, the rum is always gone, and the world is full of clowns.
If you feel like the world's gone mad, then pull up a chair and we'll throw you a teacup, because we're all mad here.
Speaking of madness, it's always more fun with friends, and today we have our friend Michael with us. He is amazing. Would you like to say hi, Michael?
Hello, all
We
friends
like to
and family.
we like to start this out pretty easy and give you a chance to just tell us who you are. Like who are you, man? Where do you come from? How did you get here?
Okay, I'm Michael P. and Mid-Atlantic East Coast, and I'm a staffer for Dan Berman, and he's been a guest of Mad LiberTEA Party, and he said, hey, I need some help. Get with these people. Work with these people, and light the world on fire. And Mad LiberTEA Party has trained me, has shown me the way of discord, has been patient, and as I call them, my Sherpas, they have really helped me climb the technology and also just the communication mountain. So that's how I got here, and we're just fighting for liberty.
Well, thank you for that. You're too kind some days, man.
So,
But
what got you into the campaign in the first place? Can you kind of break down, like,
why?
career-wise, how you got here?
Okay,
All
not
places?
a problem. I'm a weed smoking, gun shooting American, and I enjoy my personal liberty, and do not like the manipulation and the conditioning, indoctrination, and brainwashing of a two-party system. And if you're not part of the if you're not a part of the problem, you're part of the solution, and the solution is to get active. So that's what I wanted to do, and how I got here is I tried to work with National, and I call it Duke Street, and that's where the National Libertarian Party, National Libertarian Committee are. And I've been a guest there, and I toured the condo that they have down there, and I just spent time trying to work with them, and it all comes down to the money, honey. And fellow libertarians brought up the actblue.org that the Democrats have for $4 billion raised, and someone in New Mexico said, let's have the Freedom Forge. So I was trying to get funding to run for candidates, because it all comes down to money. And I have a finance and accounting and an audit background, and that scares a lot of people. So that's a good thing. And so what happened was Duke Street really didn't pay me no mind, but Dan Berman was responsive, receptive, communicating. And he did not blow me off. He did not tout, read this book or think like this. He's like, I'm listening to you, man. What do you got? And I pitched him the tipping point, and how I believe the numbers will get the gold, or get the mindset. And this is not about ownership of party, because we don't own people. We're free people. And that's how, through just wanting to help people understand how you raise money and support a candidate through auditing and pie charts, where the money comes and where the money goes, we can break down the corruption of red and blue. And Dan hooked up with you guys, and he asked for help, and I was like, let's get on it.
Heck yeah, I'm glad he did, because meeting you was awesome. I really enjoy our mini conversations and stuff. Like, I get to. I'm gonna ask you a personal question. Are you a family dude, or are you running for Liberty Stag?
Well, I'm a father of two daughters, and I got to say that there's a lot of fathers out there through family court and just trying to provide for your offspring. And so a lot of guys, I'm 47, so a lot of and I talk to you guys about age bands and demographics and socioeconomic and big 50-cent words, but when you break them down, we're people, but we all have different needs and we all have different fears. So with that being said, I do this a lot for my daughters, and I see that and a famous quote is, you can't expect your children to act like how you are, because they weren't raised when you were raised. And that's a big eye-opener, and that's why I embrace Discord and that LiberTEA party, as I like to say, and just say, wait a second, you know, I'm the old man. I get it. We can have fun with that. We can chop it up. But I got to listen to you, and you got to have respect, and it goes back and forth, and we've got to help. We've got to reach down, you know, successful people reach back, reach down, pull other people up.
See, I feel like that's the problem with a lot of people, and I think Dan, man, I love Dan so much. Like, I feel like when he talks to somebody, he really wants to get to know somebody on a personal level. Like, we're not, when he did the interview with us, we were practically just starting out still, and he still decided that he wanted to sit down and give us the time and the respect to do an interview with us, which I think is a great thing. It really shows his character, and then that he wanted to go further to get you in touch with us.
Help us get involved and everything by sending someone like you who knows what to do. I mean, like, you have helped us so much by just telling us how to do things we didn't know how to do.
It's a good example of what you were just saying there, that, you know, you reach down and you pull people up, and that's how you get successful.
Yeah. And it's nice to meet some people and get to work with them that not just talk that talk, but they walk that walk. It's very genuine. It's very refreshing. It's very refreshing.
Awesome.
And, like, you know, with the age bands and everything, you know, it's great because, like, here now, you're not even the oldest person anymore.
Well, I reached up, and we got Circle, you know, and 6'1", good Lord Jesus.
We have, across these age bands, we've just divided all of this. We have people of all these different ideologies, of all these different like age groups. They come from different places, and you know, it has to do with that whole, and I think it was at least partially inspired because, like, we were already kind of leaning this way, but then you guys showed up and said the same thing, and it got us fired up, and we were like, screw this party crap, screw this ideological grouping crap, let's just get to the points and get us all together and get us doing things. It doesn't matter whose team you're on. Who needs these teams? We need to be on Team America.
Yeah. And I actually made a post about that earlier on my Twitter, where it's like, so many people are focused on the teams rather than the country, and that's a big problem. The moment you start focusing more on the team rather than the whole of the country is the moment that everything starts falling in on itself. And that's scary, in my opinion, the fact that we are so focused on one side or the other side or any of this, and we're not focusing on the things that are being done and being put out in that situation where it's just like, hey, wait, they just did what in Congress? Or what did they just put through the Senate? How were they able to do that? It's because we're focused on more bombastic and embellished stories rather than focusing on the things that are actually happening in our own society, and that's a problem.
Yeah, they're using it against us. We've got to stop playing the games and reach out to each other. And I know that, like, you guys are really big about that. In fact, that's like something you say constantly. Do you get any, when you're out? I know when I'm out there, I've gotten a little bit of pushback. It seems the idea of us all hanging out together is really just a threat to some people, and they get very upset about it, and tell us we don't exist and shit like that. And what do you get pushback like that? What kind of pushback do you get, and what kind of advice do you have for people with that pushback?
The way I address pushback, it's war. It's class war, and fighting, and judo, and jiu-jitsu, and John Wick time. So you're going to have people attacking you. You're going to have haters out there. and they're here, like Penn and Teller, you know, and one of them's a huge libertarian, and the key word is misdirection. Red and blue will misdirect us and will make us focus over here and pass shit laws through and through and throughout and hide money. But we got bread and circus over here. But, you know, so that's what I do is as a fighter, you got to watch film, you know, all these sports guys and so forth. You know the plays that they're going to do. And so when they start acting that way, you got to punch back. You got to counter punch. And you're like, I love to say it. It's like, how dare you, red and blue, you know? Greta Thunberg, is like, how dare you affect my liberty for a non-victimless crime? Who are you? You know, so with the pushback, I just identify, I call out, and you know, I don't got time for that, you know? And I just...
Ain't nobody got time for that.
There you go. So,
and the thing is, you have to not be afraid to push back as well. When people start, like, you know, getting in your face, you can't double back. You can't be like, oh, well, sorry. No, you have to be like, well, no, fuck you. Why the fuck are you making me deal with this when I did not vote for this? I did not I did not want this. Why are you trying to force it on me? Like, I smoke weed.
Well, one of the biggest things that I've been trying to teach my quote-unquote proteges within the group here is constructive confrontation. It's one thing to, you know, like you were saying, push back, but there's different ways of pushing back. A lot of people, when someone insults them and their ideology and they're saying, no, this is crazy, you're a crazy person that believes in conspiracy theories, yada, 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 we have that knee-jerk instinct to start screaming and, you know, well, you're a Democrat and you're a Republican, and we instantly go tribal and start that tribal warfare. We've got to attack with precision. We have to make points with whatever things that we're confronting with. We're never going to win just by yelling and screaming at people. That's just not how it works. That's not how we change minds. It's not how we educate. We've got to be open-minded ourselves. We've got to learn how to be persuasive. We've got to learn how to be kind and treat people like humans and individuals rather than just political ideologies. That being said, we just finished talking about, as you called it, the little L's and big L's. And being that I just joined the Libertarian Party, I've found it very interesting that there is this divide in there. So I was just wondering if you could kind of go through and kind of explain this big L and little L dynamic, as you put it.
Okay, thank you. When I came to the Libertarian Party, it's a lot of, I call it tavern libertarians. Everybody met at the bar, and they wanted to talk about what book they read, and 1776 this, and so forth, and you got the historians, and you got the title holders. So the big L's are the title holders, being some type of party position, okay? And they like to say, I will share this with the officers. Okay, you mean another person fighting for liberty, right? No, they like to hide, or they get so powerful with their titles. So with that being said, the little L's are like us. We don't care about titles.
No.
We care about putting in work. We are the worker bees that are talking, listening to people. So right there, that's the divide that I've come across, and I'm doing something about it. And I'm a little fired up, and I'm excited that, you know, that we're talking about this, and we're not shaming anybody, but it's like, wait a second, your results were? Your activity was? Because last time I heard, the Libertarian Party was small business free markets. That means productivity.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean, you know, people sitting around, you know, waiting for other people to do stuff. No, as radical liberty freedom fighters, you know, we're here to chop down tyranny. And okay, you know, tyranny's getting stronger every day, and therefore we need to educate and inform and create the liberty squads and the freedom cells, because it's scary to, you know, to get into somebody's face, or when they get in your face. But if you're with your squad, we know what can happen.
It's easier.
So how do you propose, if you have any ideas, how do we fix that dynamic? Is that something that we can even do with political parties, or is that just kind of a dynamic of political
Is it
parties that's
something that
inherent?
just happens? That where they get this way and then they polarize and break into multiple parties, or
Well, everybody, you're going to hear the U word, unity, unity, unity. And how I was raised and where I grew up, talk is cheap, action is everything. So if I'm not producing unity results, I'm part of the problem. So what do we got to do? Okay, first again, no shame, no blame. You want to have your little title? Great, have your little title. Guess what? You got a 90-day performance review. I'm going to ask you to resign if you don't get results. What's wrong with that? Small business free markets. So I think if we act like libertarians and not have that real libertarian, pure libertarian, no, it goes back to productivity, and it also goes to charity. And libertarians are tight with their wallets. I know, okay? And it takes money, honey, to get a lot of stuff done. Oh, waste and waste. What have you really wasted? Until you put yourself out, and like with Maj running for, Philly City Council, he put himself out there. He didn't have to do that. And he put himself out there, and I joined him, and I learned from him. And just to see, and I went to my fellow libertarians, and I was like, you coming up? You showing up? And I was alone, but that's okay, because that wasn't slapping myself on the back. All I was just saying is, I ain't no fake, okay? I'm going to put in work.
Man, that brings up so many questions. Like going back to Maj again, whenever he was running, I was aggressively trying to get other people to support him, other libertarians in particular, going to all the little circles that we've got.
Me too.
And it kind of boggles the mind how many people within the libertarian community didn't want to support him because he didn't agree with one particular thing, or he said this one particular thing. And we go into that case again of gatekeeping libertarianism, gatekeeping freedom and liberty. How can we break that down? How can we get people from doing this? You're not a pure libertarian.
Good question, and I don't think I have all the answers, but what I do know is through Dan and Maj, it's like we can disagree, but we also can put in work. It's getting back to that results, and bickering just is wasted breath and wasted energy. So
yeah, it's kind of like how we're doing here. We're like, oh yeah, like you disagree with us, but that's okay. If you want to work towards this thing or what's important to you, do you like, like, what do you think about weed? Do you think weed should be legal? You want to help us work on that? Like, we don't have to agree, get in here, and I think that you guys have a really good selling thing where you're like, forget the party, go for the points, because like it's been so much easier to get people involved in things when you're like, no, don't worry about all that politics crap, like, because they're like, well, I'm a this or I'm a that, can I be here? And I'm like, I don't fucking care what you are. I don't care. If you want to talk about it later and be philosophical or whatever, let's do it, but right now we got some shit to do. Let's make some flyers.
Yes. One thing I want to really put out on this call in this is, think about the manipulation of red and blue. Okay? And the young man out of Texas, also name was Daniel, and he said, Michael, why can't we get it together? And I was just like, you got Coke and Pepsi. We are pineapple Fanta, okay? I mean, we're an exotic, radical drink, but it's market share. And I keep on bringing business and economics and money involved, and I treat my work, I'm the marketing department, or I work in the marketing department, okay? I don't mess with policy, because that's where they get into some nasty gun and knife fights, okay? But the marketing department just says, wait a second, Coke, Pepsi, they want to kill us. They want us to fight with each other. And I haven't heard any title holder use the Coke and Pepsi analogy. And that's what I'm trying to do is just say, wait a second. If you're, we're all on the team of liberty. okay? And if you want to keep on knocking at me because I don't subscribe to your flavor, hey, get a different glass or quit messing things up. So I really wanted to make that clear that the other parties it's sort of like, you have Republicans and Democrats fighting, and the guy in the bushes with the libertarian. It's the reverse. People want the libertarian idealistic versus fighting with the libertarian realistic. Okay. And all that stuff. I mean, real quick, I'm sorry if I'm running on here.
No.
No, go on.
What we have you here for?
I was talking to somebody in Maryland, and they were like, well, we don't believe in public education. And I was like, wait a second. I went to UB, University of Baltimore, okay? A state school. And if I paid for it myself, okay? And we know, so I put myself with the state's help to get through school so I could learn how to think, okay? And right off the gate, they were like, no, we don't believe in that. And I was like, wait a second, life is short. And if you keep on saying no, what gets done? Okay. So that's a very important thing, that we can't have such idealistic goals. I used the analogy of the little candy back in the old days called Now and Later. And I handed it out at Baltimore City. And I bought a big bag of Now and Laters. And I was like, what shit can we take care of now? What shit can we take care of later? Okay? So kind of think like that. It's like, wait, whoa. That's a later thing. Can we get some results? So please focus on the results. And when you have somebody bickering, don't get all excited about it. Just go buy him some candy and be like, hey, save that for later. That's how I deal with it.
It's a good way of doing it.
Since you are a member of the community here, a cherished one, and this is going to be a We the People of LiberTEA kind of thing, so people can get to know you. For all of those out there that are lurking in the shadows of LiberTEA now and will be soon, what do you do here, and how can people help you to do those things in the community?
Are we talking about Mad LiberTEA Party?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
On a lower level, bring it down some.
What I could say is, get up, suit up, show up. All right. That comes from the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay. So you're not doing anybody. You're not no pity party. Not poor me, another. Okay. You've got to get into action. And read the big book. I don't care if you think you are, if you're not an alcoholic. That's some good.
It's a good book.
Thank you. So just read, because that got a lot of people organized and focused to put their petty.
If you don't have time to read it, go pull up some videos by Russell Brand. He's been slowly covering every single one of the steps and going by the book. It's been really good.
Yes, and just think about that. Red and blue don't want us to get organized. So, I keep on going back to that, and it's like, wait a second, partner, let's get to some basics. How does it work? What are the steps? And we at Mad LiberTEA Party, we're putting together, and I might be loud, I might be boisterous, and
you get stuff moving though. Like when you get in there, like people do stuff gets done. You ask people questions and they get thrown back from it. But like I'm like, what's wrong with you? Aren't you gonna answer his question? And they're all like, oh, and they have to think about things. You make people think about why they're here all the time. It's good shit. I love watching you with people especially the new people. They're like, what is happening?
And it's just the passion, but also it's
your energy is just so big. I love it.
I always tease Mike and DMs and everything that I love listening to Mike and Michael here talking back and forth, because you're both like high energy levels, but you're like completely different mindsets. Like I like to think that you and I have a very similar mindset as far as like business marketing and things like that. And so I just love listening to you and Mike go back and forth, and you guys having to re-explain yourself 30 times because you're like, you're talking different languages but getting the same end results. But you're just so high energy, and you guys love talking to each other, even if you don't always understand entirely what's being said for the first 30 seconds of it.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
enjoyable.
like we're pretty big about asking each other to please explain what the hell the other person just said to you. I
Yeah.
like it. It's a good dynamic. I'm glad that you're here, man. And here's the big question. So like we know what you put in. You put in work. But what would you like, so like, what do you think that you would like to see either come out of the LiberTEA Party, or would like to get out of the LiberTEA Party in the future? What do you want to get out of this for you? Because like this isn't just for everybody else, it's also for ourselves.
Well, the fighters, okay. I mean, I grew up, I paid for, and I went through martial arts, okay, and from China and Kempo to Jiu-Jitsu, okay, and so it is war, and I want people to hit the mats and learn how to roll first, learn how to fall, and then you start learning how to sweep and so forth. So
Falling's not so scary once you do it a few times.
it becomes second nature to protect yourself. I'm an older man now, and I trip into the lawn and poof, I roll right out of it. When I was like, in my teens and early 20s, and I've saved myself from a lot of injury because it's natural, it's muscle memory. And so when you start learning, what you get out of this is I'm looking to train people to civilly, high road, and methodically pick apart bills. Before the call, we had to talk about a bill. When was the last political chat or group and you were like, hey, did you read the bill? Yeah, I read the bill, and so many paragraphs and lines. People are freaking out because they don't know how to read bills, or they get so intimidated from the lawyers, right? So
Or they read the headline of the bill and don't and just take what they told them it was and don't actually read it at all.
yeah, so I'm just proud, and I'm excited that Mad LiberTEA Party reads bills, and you're not
We're nerds.
no, you're people, you're educated foot soldiers putting in work, and labels be labels, and labels be damned. It's the labels that they put on us to control us. So
To divide us.
nerd this, geek that is like right here, babe. What I am is a free man. I am not a subject. I am not a slave. Just try me. And we got to get that. We got to educate that, and we got to make people feel that. So what I hope to get out of Mad LiberTEA Party is graphics, because people don't reads no more, okay? And who's going to win the meme battle? And Turning Point this, they think they got that, but graphic artists, you're wanted. Your skills are wanted. Researchers, we were talking about, hey, did you know how many popo is in Oklahoma? Hey, did you know what's the budget for the popo? Do you know what a FOIA request is? And Freedom of Information Act. And you start getting into this stuff, and how much certified mail did you send out? What? That costs money. Hey, wait a second, libertarian. I told you there's going to be some expenses in this. But once you start hitting people with certified mail and questions, and the best way to diffuse or take care of something is ask questions. And I just learned that this year from a videographer who dealt with death claims and all that kind of crazy stuff. He said, Michael, just keep on asking questions. I was like, thank you, Danny. So that's what I hope to get out of it, is graphics, a shit ton of graphics and a shit ton of research.
Well, we definitely have a very badass research team, and we are working on the art. It's coming around. We've got new memers that have come in. We've got somebody who wants to do MS Paint stuff for us. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it'll be great. We're willing to take anything. If y'all are out there now watching this and you do any form of art or graphics and you want to come help out and make a difference, get your butt in here. We're going to have links below, obviously, especially to the Discord.
If I can say one thing to that is small business free markets. We're here to promote you, and it works by tag, or and if we want to celebrate the artists and the researchers who did this work, are they for hire? Because it's a free market. So you put in, you know, you get 10 times, you do one meme and so forth, you got your tag there. Okay, Monkey Butt 509 did this. Okay, hey, he's good. He or she or they do good work. How do we get a hold of Monkey Butt? So I just want to let you know that you're not a slave. You're not a tool. You're not a number. You're a creative human being, but you gotta put out.
Yeah, and it does help. Like, I mean, we've got an artist this week who had to tell me, hey, I got to take a light task this week because I've got business. And I was like, what? That's amazing. You know, it's good shit. We're helping each other grow up, you know, and forward.
Are there any particular policies or issues that you're passionate about? Like,
Yeah, like, what are your top 3?
Well, it's kind of funny that you said it like that, because every day is a learning day. And I was going to Weeds, Guns, Sex Work, and we have a joke or we have a phrase, oh, that's low-hanging fruit, okay? So one side is, weed, guns, and sex work. And the whole thing with sex work, folks, is legalized prostitution, just like Australia. Wikipedia that, okay? And because you take an industry out of the black market, you disrupt human trafficking. You do not end it. This is not la-la.
You disrupt it.
Disrupt it, okay? Epstein didn't kill himself, and we got red and blue protecting, okay? The dirty, dirty evil, and it's just straight up evil. So
yeah, and it helps to protect our legal sex workers too, because, you know, all of this black market here, it actually makes it dangerous for the people who do legal sex work. Like, they disappear into this shit all the time.
Yeah,
they're not even doing anything illegal.
It's like with the porn, you know, it's does it please the crown if, you know, I have sex with this person and pay them money without having it filmed? And so forth. But then you get the Craigslist and all that kind of stuff where people disappear. We talked about that. And that's some serious stuff. You know, and because it's innies and outies and it's smashing and all that kind of stuff, people get all like, well, now I can't talk about that. I made babies. I know how the shit works, okay? And I respect your right to do how you butter your bread. But don't put it on me. And that's where the alphabet people, you achieved your rights, property rights and marriage rights, you know, and Syntax Hammer 666. He goes into that just saying, easy now, you got what you weren't allowed before. So we're human beings. Don't push it down on me, but hey, I have no say in what you guys are doing. Thank you. Have a blessed day and step on. So with that being said, those are my 3 passion ones. But then coming to, Berman 2020 is healthcare, free choice, breaking down this monster bills and costs and the corpsmen. 16-week course is what the military teach. And you can birth babies and set bones out there in Afghanistan, but you try to come back and be a doctor? No, 7 years of school, Hopkins, in Baltimore and so forth. That's bullshit. Okay, 16 weeks, corpsmen get trained how to protect and save life. So we got to squash that, and we've got to promote healthcare free choice. And administrators, do the accounting, folks. And that's what I'm saying. So healthcare, and then the farmers and makers, the right to repair out in California.
Oh, you probably got.
And it's family court. I'm a father, and I'm not with my ex-wife anymore, and I'm a provider for my daughters, and it's when you start using children as pawns, everybody loses.
Yeah.
And yes, there are some bad baby makers out there. We get that, but once again, dock it and clock it. Do not penalize fathers for for just trying to provide and doing their thing. So
yeah,
the lawyers is the last thing. And Cal, we need tort reform. Okay, look at all the we got a president who was a businessman right now, but look at all the lawyers prior to that. And I know I'm going to get hate and all that stuff, but the bottom line is educate people and tell them that there is a greater way.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, that being said, kind of tying back to what we were talking about previously with the LP, what would you say is, you know, the greatest strength and greatest weakness of the LP currently, and how can we make it better?
Greatest strength is the third option, third party, and
Mhm.
just educating people that you do have a choice, but it's up to you to exercise that choice or get off your ass and do something.
Mm-hmm.
And people are just independent this, Green Party that, American Party, Working Family Party. Once again, from Rome, divide and rule. Okay, we cannot be divided. We are free people, and that's what we are working on in its policy, in its repealing laws, taking them off the books. We're writing minimalized common English bills that get put into law that really don't, just read the platform, and that's the kind of bills I'd like to see. So that's the strength of the Libertarian Party or the Liberty Party, because some people, you hear libertarian, you think about, Orlando, 2016, guy stripped down, or, that kind of thing. And it's like, wait a second, we're all about liberty, freedom. So that is the strength. The weaknesses is really what red and blue are just, they're just laughing on us. We're just
right.
Clowns, and the more we don't address that and the infighting, and it's just like, wait a second, I want to see a result. And if we don't push each other for results, then nothing gets made. Lifetime, it just goes by. And then you're like, well, what did you do this year? Well, I got into some wicked internet fights. It's like, okay. So that's the weaknesses. Is we want to be so free. And I'm going to say the word high and mighty, or we love our history class, that we want to impress you on we know what the Ninth Amendment is, and we want you to know that we know that you know that I told you what it meant. And it's like, wait a second, okay, I can read. So that's the weaknesses, is we're not focused on results. We're more focused on appearance or how we sound around our libertarian friends, if that makes any sense.
Is a party required? Do you think we could do without parties?
Once again, the law. Okay, you got to look at the systems that are in place.
Does the law require we have a party?
Well,
I don't actually know that.
FEC, and that's Federal Election Committee.
Yeah.
Once you kind of get into all that, and I call that, like I said, marketing department. Hi, policy department. That policy department, and it's that political engine that is whipped up, and it's like, no, I will tell you how to think and how to do stuff. I mean, just trying to get Bitcoin,
Yeah.
and the interviews and the wallets and all that, or no, you can't, and then, just trying to raise money, and it's like, wait a second. So we got to play the game, and for right now, but once again, realistic versus idealistic. We will be able to go towards the person in the policy, and if we keep on pushing that, the party noise will die down. It won't go away. But once again, the party is human trafficking. Come on, let's put that together.
Yeah, I don't understand why people are still just. It's all been right in front of us, and we're just.
There's no
eating popcorn and watching.
Yeah. No one speaks up, and we're like, wait a second, political parties is human trafficking. I want to control these people and move them over here and suck this out of them. Okay. And it's like, wait a second, I'm a free person, and therefore I want to talk about the bill or the law and actually understand what it means and how it implicates me, So that's what I would like to really say, is nobody's really speaking up about the elementary stuff. Everybody wants to be the 500 master's course levels and be all educated. But wait, we got some kindergarten stuff to get through. We got some elementary business. And let's just keep it elementary. But guess what? I'm going to be a free man in elementary. my life is going to go on, and I'm going to love living life, or I'm going to, I'm going to be fighting for liberty every day.
Yeah, you and me both.
So, that being said, ideally within the next year or two, I would like to do something with actually getting into an office and actually being able to, put to action the things that we're talking about. Do you have any advice for other people out there, including myself? What are the first steps to actually get out there and campaign and try to get into an office?
The key thing is get a Liberty Squad. It is debilitating, crippling to do this alone. Okay. And we talked about it in Mad Liberty Party. It's volunteer fatigue. People will quit on you. Okay. And they were like, we need one person. I was like, what? We need one person to run social media? No, we need 4 people to run social media. And I keep on saying, iron sharpens iron. It's in a book.
When one person gets burnt, you got to have somebody willing to pick it right up behind them.
Yeah. So that's the number one thing, is have your squad. And through that, and I mean, look at Maj. Look what his following. And he wanted to deal with conflict resolution, right? That's what he teaches. Went out to Berkeley, out to California, and like 6 schools out there, and did seminars in one of the most political gun states. But then if you see there are hills and deserts and canyons out in California where people love guns and so forth. And so where I'm going with that is get your squad, and then practice pitching, practice your spit, and learn how to speak. And that's what I need to work on keeping it shorter, not being so dynamic, because some people are like, what up? But you got to practice more than you ever thought before.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
And what are those things you told me about, the point cards? Those are useful too, I bet.
The point cards or palm cards.
Palm cards. I'm sorry,
That's okay.
I fricked it up.
Yeah, we were talking about know your facts, okay? Because the smartest, like The Rock says, I'm the hardest man working in the room. Well, as a politician, have your facts and be able to be fact checked, and I'm gonna ask, how many popo are in the glorious state of Oklahoma? How much money, is going for this? Before we do stop and frisk, I need to know my facts, okay? And then fear mongering, where does it come from? Where, and then you're like, wait a second, man, you just dumped science, knowledge, math on me. I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna follow you.
Ben Shapiro is a king of that. Like, if say what you will about him as far as policies and things like that, but that dude is a king of knowing his stats and numbers and everything else. Like, he even knows his sources most of the time.
Yeah, and that's what a good servant and a good I really, you're just a person just like me, and everybody's like the honorable this and the representative. It's Carl in, Eddie in, Sheila in. I'm talking to people. If I got to call you a certain to get you to respond to my email, no. You're Carl, I'm Michael P. Let's go. Okay? And then I will call you out because you want to hide around your little title. And I was looking in Texas, this guy makes $7,200, and I'm like, okay, and he's just doing it. Why is he doing it? Is it for power and prestige, or is it for the people's service? Right. And so that's where I'll go with that.
Now I have one question. I know I've been quiet the whole time, but I'm a quiet dude. I like to listen and digest. But my question to you is, in your opinion, how would corruption best be tackled on the local level or on the national level using marketing and advertising? What can other people who want to do this, who want to make advertisements, who want to make graphics, who want to make informational things that way, how could they do that by making it interesting and tackling a problem at the same time?
Thank you. And the key thing is people want to be told stories, And it goes down to the 5 W's: the who, the what, the when, the where, the why. And by having all that information and knowledge, because I'm dealing with corruption, okay? So if you research, get those facts first, and then be able to break it down, and not in a novel, not in a book, just in a palm card, or here's the facts, folks, okay? Lost reporting to the blue. Let's call it a duck, quack, quack, okay? That's why we're podcasting. That's why we're streaming. That's why we're blogging, because we're getting rid of legacy media and we're getting to new media. So what I would say is first get your facts on the research side, and then by doing the graphics and just saying so-and-so took this much money, here is the evidence chain, okay? And then call them out, or hold a sit-in, or hold a press conference. And it's just not getting so excited on no one showed up. We got the internet. We got recordings nowadays, okay? So you might have 3 people in the room and so forth, but did you talk about the corruption? And did that get spread? Because not everybody's so busy. And it's not about bodies at an event. 10,000, yeah, that's bread and circus. Those are low info voters that do the rah-rah stuff. It's stuff like this remotely. So if I answered your question correctly, it's do your research locally, and then display your research and circulate your research through the means. And I just got to shout out one magical number, and that's 3142, okay? And that's how many U.S. county and county equivalents are in our America, okay? So 3,142 counties and county equivalents. That's the local level. So you could be Arlington, I think, is the smallest county in America, and then up in Alaska is the largest borough. So they might call them different names, but it's called reading a book, and you know, we were talking about definitions and so forth.
Yeah.
But there are people up in Alaska, you know, and there's people in Arlington that, you know, it's like, well, who's in charge? Who's running this mother, you know? And that's where you got to go after them. And it's like, oh, you're a title holder? Okay, 90 days. What did you do? What did you spend? And I get to this. Run it like your household. You get upset when the water's dripping and your water bill goes up. You fix that toilet, right?
Right.
Okay, so we got to run each county, okay, or parish or borough like a house. And if you want to be in charge of this house, you got to be responsible, and you got to report to the housemates, right or wrong.
I like that analogy too. And a follow-up.
That's a good example, yeah.
I actually have a follow-up question, especially with research. There are a lot of places where we can research, but it may not be the correct information or the right information or the accurate information. How can we help younger and aspiring journalists find the correct and the accurate information over the hearsay and the speculatism?
They just ask me.
My answer to that is docket and clock it, okay? And that's a legal term. That means you document in time where you got that information from. So therefore, you have a baseline. And in statistics, you've got to start from your baseline. So it could be some funk, it could be some lines. But if you don't know where you and your other mates start at, what do you know is fake? So you got to say that I found this out from Monkey Butt 107 that this is going on, okay? But then you cloverleaf, another sales tactic. Hey, you friends of Monkey Butt or you foes of Monkey Butt? And you start interviewing, asking questions. So that's what I'm really trying to break down is that, you know, how? Well, we understand, again, guess what?
Well, and a lot of people, they'll if you reach out to them, they'll answer your questions too.
Yeah, because they want, and once again, no one wants to be alone. We all want community of some sort, but the anarchists and the ANCAPs, they don't really like what's going on. So I get it, and I'm not shaming them. I party with them and I get to know them, you know, because they put in work. Okay, so where I'm going with that is ask questions, okay, record the answers, share the answers, and then challenge what the answers are, but by clover leafing, or you got your source and then you do your back checks. And also, last thing, pretend it's The Wire. You know, it's Baltimore City, The Wire. You're a cop. You got to investigate. You got to interrogate, because everybody's got out something for something, and people are lying. So you got to just be a homicide detective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just don't shoot people's dogs.
Yeah. Please don't shoot people's dogs. We didn't. Or lobsters.
Right. Or a little girl that got shot, you know, for a search. It's a 3-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Wow,
and so
fuck.
forth. So,
Yeah.
you know, they're getting, the police state is here. The militarization of Popo is here. And until we, the people, audit and back it down, you know, more people are going to get shot.
Before we
Yeah.
go into the lightning round, I just really wanted to say that's a good analogy. I like the idea of getting people to think of their community as a household, because that really does make it personal. Like, those things do affect you. A lot of people disassociate with that, though. So we've got to get that association back together. Like, Oklahoma still has a sales tax, and then there's, you know, the federal sales tax, and then we have income tax, tariffs, and everything else. So we've got an additional tax in there just on the state level. That is something that affects us. So
can do
we need
something
to
about.
answer it. Yeah. Do you want to start us off on the lightning round, or Ulf? Do you have any questions?
I'm good.
All right.
All
Do
right.
you
Well,
have any
let's hit
questions
the.
for us, Michael?
Yeah. Do you have any questions for us? We give people that chance at the end.
What do you see the next 30, 60, 90 for Mad LiberTEA Party?
Well, I believe in the next 30, we're going to start trying to make networks and reach out to other creators and start trying to make stuff with other people.
Yeah, February is
And
all about reaching out and getting with other groups, other
connecting the
podcasts,
circles together.
creating those freedom cells.
And I know that we're working on kind of a little study thing that's going to take the next 3 months. So, like, on the third month, we'll be worrying hard about that and getting all our facts straight for that. But, like, at the 60-day mark, what do we have for 60-day mark?
60 days was that, March being that was our month of action. So that's actually us going out there and getting shit done.
Yes,
we've
we're gonna
recruited everybody,
start
we've
with.
trained everybody, we've expanded, we get more resources. Then third month is attack.
Yeah, we're gonna actually go out and start hitting the streets. Although some of us have already been doing that. They've been going out there on the streets and bringing people in to talk to us and stuff and get involved, which has been exciting. But
That's awesome.
we've got some actual plans of attack, quote unquote, on. We're gonna be focusing on, like, trying to get our churches and community groups and stuff that have, like, centers and stuff to themselves to do gardening, community gardening. And we're going to be, like, going out there trying to talk to them about it and show them how easy it can be and how useful it can be and how it can bring people together and stuff. We're going to try and encourage as many of those first off as we can. And I mean, that's our first thing. We're going to hit gardening. We're some crazy anarchists, huh?
No, you feed the people and you're teaching people, and we know the corporatism and the food supply. And we know we gotta be self-reliant and so forth. So please get that zucchini and those tomatoes and potatoes, and you know, let people eat stuff that isn't processed this and processed that.
And something that they
Diabetes.
put the effort into to help build and stuff like that too, even. And you know, like, I think that's really important. And but of course, along the way, we'll be seeking out our future local Liberty squads
Tight.
because we've got to get working on that as soon as possible. Getting us each our own. Like, we're all going to be trying to find our own in our areas and make our own.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we've got kind of a task ahead of us. I don't know how long that's going to take. That's more than 90 days.
But you guys see, with business, you know, in small business free markets, Liberty, and the tipping point. That's why I asked the financial quarter, you know? And if we start running our political more like a business and with risk and reward and compensation and termination and, you know, all those kind of terms, you know, is like, you're fired, you know? We got to kind of get used to that.
Well, also, I forgot, we're also getting our subscribe store and our merchandise up and stuff like that too, to try and help fund some of all this good stuff.
Well, with all that grants, researchers, you got to ask for the no, you know? And then you got so many grants going out there. You're like, who's my LiberTEA Party, man? What's going on here? You know? So all I got to say is if you can write, I can't write, okay? I'm dyslexic and I have a writing disability. It's out there, okay? So I look to other writers and be like, where's the grants? Where's the press releases? Where's the Craigslist post? Where's this, that, you know? So if you can write, write.
Good stuff. Do you want to start us out on the lightning rounds, Mike?
Yes. What's your favorite color?
Orange.
Orange.
Okay. Have you ever played D&D before? Dungeons and Dragons.
I know what it is.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Let's just say I was in the room and I understand the rules, and I rolled some dice, but it got a little hazy. Believe it or not.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, so what's your favorite snack?
I would say probably combos. Yeah, cheddar combos.
Oh, those are actually pretty good. I can't have those anymore, but they're good. What's your favorite drink?
Tea. Black, orange, peacock, Lipton, Jersey. Tea.
What about your favorite mixed drink?
I don't drink.
You don't drink?
Okay.
Okay,
Nope.
Cool. I don't really drink either. It's
I
not a
drink
good
everything.
thing. It makes me, yeah, he drinks a
I
lot.
smoke like a mother, but you know, that's
Everything in
another story.
moderation.
Right.
I forgot what I was gonna ask.
What do you?
Oh, what do you do whenever you're like, what is your process of relaxing? What do you do whenever you're trying to ease tensions?
EDM, electric dance music, and I love to genres, you know, Lady Baby, Lady Beard, Baby Metal, get out that side, but then Alan Walker faded and just gets to see the Melbourne Shuffle and, you know, just music. And like I
Just
say, you
rinse
know,
that shit
Bob
out.
Marley, you give up your more to receive your less in one cup of coffee, then I go, you know,
There you
so
go.
I love ska, you know, and I think somebody was like, well, every ska person, they really like to tell how much they love ska. I mean, Gwen Stefani, you know, my second daughter.
I love
Gwen.
ska too. It's
Uh,
good shit.
Do you have any particular like, what is like a favorite historical event of yours?
Boston Tea Party.
Okay, that's
All
kind of what I
revered.
figured. Yeah.
You know, just get patriotic shit.
Favorite president?
I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna say GW.
GW.
George Washington, motherfuckers.
Well,
Heck
yeah.
Okay.
We're twinsies. Okay, so like if you, oh crap, I forgot what I was gonna ask too.
What's
Crud.
going on?
What's your favorite recreational activity?
I would say shooting, target shooting, 3-gun.
There you go.
Pistol, rifle, carabine.
It's good stuff. Do you have a particular morning routine?
No, just get up and go.
There you go.
Clean up, you know, and make your bed.
Make your
That's it.
bed.
Goddamn bed.
Make your bed and square your, you know, once again, I was never in the military, but I processed 95 Charlie, and somebody knows what that means. And just, you know, you got basic discipline and basic things, and you become a whole person once you knock out, and just keep your house tidy.
What's like the number one advice that you can give someone about just personal character?
Well, besides don't lie, you know, just like women and Mars and Venus, you know, no matter how it feels like you're presenting yourself, tell the truth. And I did not do that, you know, and it was the most painful learning lesson of my life. And I come to you as a humble man, just saying, tell the truth.
It's good stuff.
What's
Do you have
your
any?
favorite video game?
World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay. What was your
Oh,
class?
no.
Class and
Free
race.
Hong Kong.
Well, see, this is the thing where I'm a Reddit lurker. Okay, so my best friend Matthew is got like 12 accounts, Blizzard. You know, and we were just at dinner today, and he's telling me what's going on and all that. But he keeps me in the game and so forth. And then you got Leroy Jenkins. You know, I mean, and just to be able to stir people up and to have that meme and that action. And so forth, but to actually play, it would be, you know, that's sort of like the excitement thing. But then the relaxing thing or the fun thing is just Minecraft.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Building
Minecraft,
shit,
but I like
you know?
Minecraft.
Yeah.
What's your favorite TV show right now?
Mr. In Between, and
Mr.
I
In
believe
Between.
it's on Fox. And it's an Australian security hitman, and he's balancing being a father of a daughter and also killing people.
Well, that sounds
Okay.
like quite a juggle.
Yep, it's a great show. But he says, you know, why are there so many assholes in life? Because people don't check other people. You got to check people when they come and walk on you.
People will treat you how
Check
you
it out,
teach them
Mr.
to.
In Between.
Mr. In Between, I'm gonna have to check that out. The last time somebody suggested a TV show, I watched it and then I gorged it. I was like binge watch.
And the last thing with that, and I'm not plugging, I'm not catching a royalty, but I don't answer questions. I don't answer questions. He has an entire thing with the Australian Popo, and he doesn't answer questions.
Doesn't.
Do you have any hobbies?
Well, tactical shooting
Right.
and martial arts. And it's not powerlifting like I'm trying to do crazy numbers, but it's the 4 basic lifts. So bench, press, squat, and deadlift.
Okay.
So just hitting those lifts, and also getting to see Cynthia Liu, who's on Instagram, and she's a power lifter, and she struggled through anorexia, and just seeing women rise up, okay, and just see how gorgeous and just magnificent power lifters, you know, are, and so forth.
Since we've been talking about politics, we have to ask the most important question: dog or cat?
I'm gonna say dog. Sorry, that's what
Dog.
you know. That's Sparky was my first stuffed animal. It was a Dalmatian dog, and then Yaki, which is Thai for fish. Lord knows, was my ex-wife's dog.
Okay. Well, do you have a dog now, or
no
no
don't
time
have a
for
dog
that
now.
right now?
Don't have time for a doggy now, and because all that love and respect, and just, you know, I just am not going to take hostages.
Right.
You know? And
Right.
I'm a responsible person, and I don't need a dog to be whole, but I appreciate dogs and cats. But I'd say this real quick: them cat videos just got me. West Virginia Libertarian chair, David V. You know who he is. He posts his he got me into watching cat videos on the internet. So, you know,
They're addictive.
Shout out. Yes, they are, because they're funny.
They really are.
Now, if we really want to start a fight on the internet, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Ooh.
This is important. Drum roll.
Mike and I have actually fought about this, like screaming fight.
He woke up, got out of bed, put on pants, and came into another person's live stream to yell at me about this once.
I'm going to say, just because of my cooking background and so forth, and I know how many different hot dogs you can make and all the varieties, and so I am going to call it a sandwich.
Yes!
Uh-oh.
Ha 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 ha!
All right. All right.
All right.
I got an infographic for you, though, right?
Of course you do.
Share my hot dog infographic, and then you'd be like, okay, I can see that.
You owe my palm with that infographic. I'll use it. This is war.
Any
Oh,
last
and
questions?
also the important ones are 2 important ones I don't want to miss are: do you have a book that you would like to suggest to people out there?
Yes, and I'm not going to say it's trendy or it's basic, but don't harm people and take other people's stuff. But come on, it's if everybody would get a copy of that and hand that to their elected official and say, "Did you read this?" That's what I'm just saying.
I'll have to check that out. I've actually never heard of that one.
Okay, I'll make sure I send you the info. And it's a LP. It's not like the manifesto, but it's out there in a New York bestseller. And second thing though, tipping point. Malcolm.
There you go.
Well, tipping point. Sorry.
And my second one was, if you could pick any single cause to plug right now, what would it be?
We're talking about special interest, single issue, right? I'm gonna have to say legalize sex work to disrupt human trafficking. Those are human beings that political people are just hurting.
Do you have any organizations or anything that we can suggest, or should we pull some up and just toss them down there for people?
Well, I would say this is hopefully what we learned on this meeting and this interview is do your own research, create your baseline, and share it with a fellow human being. If you can practice that, okay, you are being taught how to be a soldier, right?
Yeah.
And that's what, and so I can say blah, 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 blah. No, wait a second. Research, baseline, share. And then when 2 and 2 would get together, be like, okay, I heard of this, I heard of that. But one thing I got to say with organizations, audit.
Yeah.
Show me the books. Because I'm doling out money, and everybody has donate. But what are your results? What came in? What went out? Simple question.
Well, that being said, do you have any other particular plugs that you want to throw out there, or anything like that?
Anything that you'd like to say before we...
I want to just say,
messages?
Discord Mad LiberTEA Party is touching the youth vote of America, 18 to 24. But the teens, and let your parents know that you're getting involved in politics. That's a very important thing.
Yeah, don't hide it.
And there were a lot of teens that are like, my parents won't let me. My parents won't let me. And I was like, sorry, I'm not going to break a law just for peer pressure or just to get you on board. I can't do that.
In 6 or 7 or 8 or 4 months, you can do it.
Yeah. Keep up.
Stick around,
right?
Help out a little bit on the side, not doing anything you're not allowed to do.
Just this year, 2020, I actually created a Reddit account. I've been looking at Reddit and been a lurker for 10 years. Okay.
I'm still a lurker there.
Okay, we'll get you. But that's the one is the youth or Discord. Okay. And the DNC, in 2016 got into the gamers' ears. So you're caught. You're caught like a rat in a trap. We know how you try to play us. Okay. So that's why, and I'm so excited for Maj to come on March 8th. So that's my second plug.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
You guys got Maj to talk with you.
Yay.
Okay?
I'm excited.
Huge. So
Yee.
go with it. and just keep it going.
Yeah,
So
we just got to keep going. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for coming. This was amazing. I can't wait to see what we've got coming out next and what we're all going to do together. And I hope to have you on again because you've got so much to share, man. You know so much stuff. I might have to get you on again to pick your brain on some more specific topics someday.
I'm here for training and sample example and hold me accountable. Okay? That's
we will.
Thing Dan's really good about is he'll be like, check me. Go ahead, check me. And if we keep on doing that with one another, it just gets better and better. So I thank you for having me on and allow Berman 2020 to be a part of the Mad LiberTEA Party.
Well, would you like to tell these fine people how to get involved with us before we head out of here, Stefan?
Yeah, we can. Well, we've got Mike's Twitter, my Twitter, the Mad LiberTEA Party Twitter. We've got our BitChute, and then of course we've got Discord. Anchor. Do they go to the Anchor or do they go to the regular websites?
Anchor is its own, but there's a bunch of other ones that it posts to too, like Spotify and Google and all these things. You can find the podcasts there. Any of these places, if you can just find the Mad Liberty Party, there's going to be a link there that will lead you to come hang out with us and join this action. If you're tired of just sitting around and talking about it, you need to be in on this. And obviously, if you liked this, if you have questions for the next time, if you think that like we're wrong about something we were talking about or something, and you need to talk about it, get in our comments.
That way we can berate you.
Yeah, get in our comments so we can tell you how wrong you are, or so we can rethink whatever the heck it was that you said. And obviously, make sure you guys to share this, because it really, really helps if y'all get out there and just share this thing. Until then, y'all be safe, y'all be free. This Mad Liberty Party is adjourned.